honeysuckle soup on a hot summer day. Coffee comes back in a nerve-wracking way. The dishes and laundry take the garbage out. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Well, welcome to Capital Region today. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. We're almost at the end of the month. Where does the time go? But anyway, we're here anyway with our great guests. We have a great lineup today. We're going to be talking about the Kids Art Festival, which is coming up. Oh my gosh, I love that event. Opera Saratoga is here. They've got a big event coming up right here in Schenectady. We've got Callaloo Theatre coming on, Jazz on J. Oh my gosh, Thursdays are wonderful in Schenectady in the summer. And then the International Center for at the Capital Region will be on today. We're going to be talking about an event, their events, and also an exhibition over in Albany that's going on right now. So there's so much going on in our community, and if you're looking for something to do, you got to watch this show because we're going to tell you what's going on and how you can enjoy the summer and the spring that's coming up here. But we're going to start right out with our first guest, and it's the Kids Art Festival, and that's been around. This is their 29th year. Next year is going to be a big one because it's going to be the 30th anniversary. Betsy Sandberg is here. She does most of the planning. Oh my God.
Oh, I don't do anything alone. I've got a planning committee, which Ann was a member of for years.
Yeah, and I loved working on that.
Yeah, and so many of the things are tried and true now. We have our makeup murals that happen every year, the pottery wheel, puppets, the puppet people, the Electric City puppets, test drive a trumpet or a trombone. Also new this year is drumming.
We got drumming.
That's Jordan Taylor Hill we've had drumming before, I'm sorry, that's not new. And then where kids can learn how to play percussion. Yep, that's a djembe.
Don't test me.
Don't test you, okay. Okay, McCauley's over here with it.
Our poster contest, we're bringing the poster contest
I love
back,
the poster contest.
But what we're gonna, the poster contest theme this year, and you can find all this on our website, is Summer Night, which will be Friday, July 12th. So kids should come with an idea already about what do they love about Summer Night, which is the Capital Region's biggest block party.
Oh my gosh.
And I just brought a couple of, join the poster contest. Winners get $100.
I know.
But you know, different ways.
These are from last year.
These are from prior years, and it's just, the poster contest is one of the few things that just really get kids' creative juices flowing, and they can promote Summer Night, which will be Friday, July 12th.
That's great, yeah. And Craig, you are an artist, I see. What's going on here in your lap? Is that your blanket?
Oh, this is
you
not
brought
mine.
your blanket?
No,
I'm just cold.
Okay.
Cold. This is from previous years.
Yes, he's one of our new activities this year.
Kids made this, each child made one of these. I just saw this 5 minutes ago, so I'm describing it as I'm going on.
Okay, well that's right. So tell me what you think this is.
No, what is he going to be doing? Because that is really cool.
Okay.
So Betsy, I met Betsy recently and very inspired by all the energy that she's has.
She's got the energy.
Unbelievable, which I love the artist community and everything that promotes art. So when she asked me to volunteer or do something with this, I of course said yes. But my art and what I'm working on now is making three-dimensional shapes with curved surfaces.
With curved surfaces.
Curved surfaces, yes. I remember, being in school when I was younger, and you always made a cube out of paper.
Yeah, we folded, did the folding.
Cool. Or, you got really creative and you made a pyramid out of paper.
Little origami sort of thingy.
Right. Those were generally the two shapes, or you could make, something else.
The swan.
So
everybody made the swan or whatever it was.
Right. So somebody came to my house, a contractor came to my house, and I always wanted a curved wall. So he made a curved wall, and I asked him how he did it, and he said he wet down some thin sheetrock and just kept on curving it. And of course I thought, well, how do I make art out of that?
Paper?
So I took a thin plywood,
plywood.
quarter-inch plywood, and wet it down and started curving it, and then started cutting it up.
That's how they make violins, right, and stuff. They got to curve it.
That's right. That's exactly right. So I went wild with that, and I made some big giant faces that I make at the Electric City Barn. This
Okay.
awesome place where, maker space. When Betsy said, hey, what do you want to do at the Kids Art Festival? I'm like, I'll make curved shapes. So I'm going to have a station there where kids can cut different shapes and make curved three-dimensional shapes.
What a great, that's brand new.
Yes, that is
Yes.
brand new.
Anything else that's new?
Well, we've got an emphasis on clowns this year. We'll have the.
I wish you'd have told me because I have a red one that I could have worn.
Okay, yes. So there is, it's hard to talk with.
Yes, I was just saying,
We can take those off now.
Yeah, I have a red one that I've used. So.
Yes, we will have several street performers who will be teaching kids as well. Kids of all ages, as you know, people have grown up with Kids Arts Festival and they come even when they're well into their 20s and 30s. So they will be learning how to juggle, learning a couple of other of the circus arts. The other things new this year, help the Hamilton Hill Art Center bring African folk tales to life from 2 to
wonderful.
4
Yeah.
on Erie Boulevard. They're going to be doing a mural on Erie Boulevard.
Oh, where are they doing it here?
Where the railroad wall is.
Oh, you're up the higher part.
On
of
Erie,
it. I mean, I
yes,
wasn't
yes.
thinking, not the Erie Canal area.
No, Erie Boulevard
Yeah.
on the wall. And the Hamilton Hill Art Center is also bringing a fashion show. They're going to be on the stage.
Wonderful.
One other really cool thing with the stage, we've got the Be the Best You Can band. They will be playing music, but with kids' instruments. They're going to be using ukulele.
So it's a twist.
Yes, they're
Talk about a
going to
twist.
be, and I didn't think of this idea. I saw it on Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
He had the Who on his late night show playing their music, playing with kazoos, xylophones, handshakers,
I love it.
tambourines. And I was like, oh, we've got to do that with Kids Arts Fest. So not only will they be playing with kids' instruments, they will also invite kids up to play on the stage with them. So that will be really cool. And then, McCauley, why don't you talk about what the Electric City Barn is going to be doing?
Sure. So Electric City Barn is a makerspace on Craig Street in Schenectady.
Yeah, you got a big concert coming up on Saturday night with Doc.
Yes, with Doc
yeah,
Horton,
Yeah, I'm
yes.
going to be there. Yeah.
Oh, really
Yeah.
amazing. Yes, we have so many different members. You've met a couple, Ubu with Art and Bloom, Jasenya, McCauley, and Craig is one of our members as well. And so creatives and makers and entrepreneurs come together to do different creative and artistic matters. And so this year, the photo spots, do you know the ones where you stick your head out and there's like an image or something? They will be started on May 21st in Art and Bloom, and then it will be finished at Kids Art Fest. And so a member in our space built the actual photo spot, and now a member is helping facilitate painting it with the kids. And
Oh,
so the
how
kids will be
cool.
painting it, and then by the end they can stick their head out. And then it will be on display at Summer Night. And so it's kind of a multifaceted project so that you can be part of the actual activity,
Amazing.
or you can just pop your head through and get a photo.
Photo op, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. And of course, you mentioned Art and Bloom, which of course is a continuation of art from the Kids Art Festival, going to even bringing it to adults. Too, with
Yes,
the
yes,
Green
and
Market.
at the Green Market on specific Sundays. Just Sundays, because.
For the Green Market.
But we have such wonderful, we have over 50 activities this year, thanks to all of
Amazing.
our wonderful sponsors. There's so many. I've got,
And the weather's going to be great.
Oh, of course, but if it's not, the rain site is inside Proctor's.
Okay.
We have the best dang rain location of any venue. We will be in the GE Theater, the Wright Atrium, the Robb Alley.
Are you going to be down here too?
We very well might be, because we have more than 50 activities.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we have stage performers. Besides the Be the Best You Can band, I'm bringing up a guy from New York City. It's called
Okay, maybe the GE Theater even.
Yep. Oh, yes, the GE. We can't use the main stage because they're
No, I
having
know
a
that.
dance recital.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll have the GE Theater. We'll have so many things. It's just going to be.
You've got it nailed down.
Well, thanks to people like you and the founders who set the template for us and created the formula. That's why it really works. And it works because
And
we
Karen,
have-
we got to give a big shout out to Karen Johnson, who's no longer with us, but
Yes,
she
but
was
she was one of the
instrumental in
founders.
part of
Yes,
that too.
yes, absolutely.
Eli Taub was another one
Yes,
too.
yes. So sculpt and dance and play and create music and sing and play with puppets.
And the best part, it's free.
Yes, thanks to sponsors like the New York State Council on the Arts, a SIP grant from the Schenectady County Legislature, MVP Healthcare is awesome to us, Stewart's Shop, the Schenectady Foundation, and then even these small businesses like Zalucky and Halstead and the Open Door Bookstore, and individual people, and even Capital Region Today is a sponsor, and Aunt Perillo is a sponsor. For as little as $50, you can help put on this for thousands of kids. We know that over 5,000
It's
kids.
a wonderful activity, and they do advertise it through all the schools. So if you are a parent watching this, make sure that your kid brings home the information on it. If not, just go to their website and sign up. And you don't need to sign up; just show up.
Yes,
enjoy.
it's free.
I want to
Noon to
thank
4.
you all for being here. And Betsy, I got to give hats off. If I was wearing a hat, I'd take it off to you, to all of you, because I know you're working very hard with the volunteers and you with the art. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you all for what you're doing. I really do.
Thank
We're going
you
to
so
switch over here to another guest, Opera Saratoga. You're pretty new.
Hi, Ann. Yes, I am. I started in March.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
How exciting! And I read your resume. You're quite talented.
Well, I'm very excited to be working with this community and at Opera Saratoga. We have such an exciting festival planned this
I
summer.
know you have 3 performances coming up. I think you have a flyer. Do they have the flyer up? Oh, they had it up. Just a second.
We do, and I have it. Oh, it
That's
fell.
okay.
We have it on the screen
You have it
by
on
the
your
magic.
brain?
So I do. So we have a month-long festival from June 3rd to July 9th.
Right.
We run a bunch of concerts and 3 main stage productions, and we culminate in 2 weekends at UPH in downtown Saratoga Springs, in the heart of downtown.
That's a great performance area, too.
It's wonderful, as you know, and part of the Proctors Collective, which is wonderful. So in the beginning of June, we start with our kids show. I do have this one, The Selfish Giant, which is a new opera. It's a world premiere opera, which we're running in 7 performances all throughout June and July, starting June 3rd, in various venues, inside, outside, one here at Schenectady.
I have to do the Schenectady Civic
Please.
Players. It's on, I believe, on June 11th is what
It
I
is,
think
indeed.
I have. And
Yep.
it's a free performance.
They all are.
They all.
They all are. So it's 45 minutes long. It's a free family show, and it's actually about sharing your green space. So it's a super timely message, and I think it's a message that adults can benefit from as well as kids. But it'll be a rock concert like outside, and a new opera for us all to enjoy in English.
Sounds wonderful. And what I did see that you're doing the Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. I've seen that. Oh my goodness.
So we have 2 sort of main stages at UPH in addition to The Selfish Giant, which we continue to run in mornings. One is the opera Don Pasquale, which is Donizetti's buffa comedy. It's buffa, opera buffa.
Yeah.
It's
That's what Mozart loved to do, right?
It's a little later than Mozart,
Okay.
but because it's more clowny,
Okay.
it's based on the characters from Commedia dell'arte. But it's basically a sitcom about a miserly bachelor who's trying to disinherit his nephew, who is engaged to a woman that he doesn't like. So he's trying to keep the family line sort of, we keep it highbrow, and they trick him into allowing them to get married and actually taking all of his money by the end. So again, super timely piece about resource sharing and generational wealth getting
Even
spread
if you do
out.
it by trickery.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. It's actually fun trickery.
Is it in Italian?
It is in Italian with English super titles, but it's
Oh, I
the
like
kind of
that.
Italian that repeats a lot. And so actually you might stand to learn something when you come to the opera and you hear a word over and over again, see a super title, and you could go out like speaking a couple of lines of Italian, I would think.
Whoa. Definitely is right up my alley.
Good. Well, we want you there. And then the second piece, as you mentioned, is Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. It's a Broadway show that was a Tony Award winner. And it's, again, about...
It's funny.
It's a hilarious sort of vaudeville about a guy who's down on his luck and fallen out of love, and he realizes he's like 8th in line to inherit an earldom. He only has to kill 8 people to get there. So
Doesn't he play a lot of the parts?
So that guy is sort of the straight man to another character who plays the entire family line, who keeps dying as he kills them off. And we're actually, a cool thing about the set is we're using AI to compose a portrait of the same actor in all these different costumes. Yeah, so it'll be a really interesting, both pieces, because UPH is kind of in the round, both pieces will engage with the audience and performers will be in and around the audience.
Sounds like fun.
I think it'll feel pretty immersive. So that's our big festival. And then we have these other concerts I wanted to mention. On June 3rd, we have a concert featuring our young artists, our festival artists, called The Stars of Tomorrow. And it's at Spa Little Theater in Saratoga. Who would have thought? And then on the 17th, we have a series called Broadway at the Mansion, which is 2 Golden Age Broadway programs, which are run with a prefix lunch or a prefix dinner, depending on which one you come to.
Idea.
Yeah, it's a really fun program.
At the Mansion, so where's that?
The Mansion Inn in Saratoga. So you can find all of the addresses.
The Mansion Inn. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you said the Mansion. I go, where's
The Mansion. It's just in a mansion. Yeah, it's just a mansion. Do you know? So that is all on our website, all of the addresses. And finally, we have a Juneteenth Eve celebration curated by a wonderful bass baritone named Dr. Carl DuPont, who is going to be singing songs that honor the Black legacy in classical music.
That is so nice.
And he's a teacher at Peabody. We're really proud of him. So he's doing a show at Cafe Lena on June 18th, the evening of June 18th.
18th. So Juneteenth is the 16th.
Is the 19th, and this is the
19th.
eve.
Oh, that's right. It's on a Monday. They changed it.
It's a Monday. But I know this because the eve is Father's Day, which
Okay,
is a
that's
double
right.
reason to come celebrate with us at Cafe
Yeah,
Lena.
that's right. I love Cafe Lena.
It's a pretty beautiful place, and we've been running this amazing series called America Sings all year, and this
I
is
know
the final.
that. You've been going to nursing homes.
Well, so that's a separate program.
That's a different program. I'm
But-
sorry. I'm getting your
and
program
it's so
mixed up.
good. No, this is good.
It's
You know
back
all of
here
our
somewhere
rep.
in my brain.
It's fantastic. So we have, on the one hand, we educate the youth through programs like Opera to Go and America Sings, which takes opera outside, or a classical rep outside of a traditional opera theater. And then, on the other hand, we go into memory care centers and create work with people who have Alzheimer's or dementia, and sometimes even recall them sort of from catatonia through music they know from their youth.
But music, to me, I mean, they've done studies in people with dementia
Memory.
of sorts. I mean, there's a number of ranges of that. They seem to respond so much to music.
100%.
They
You
know.
should-
I was watching Tony Bennett, and of course he has dementia, and he was like he was having trouble with the book, and he was having trouble, and then they got him by the piano, and he knew all the words to one of the songs that he had, and it was like, that's amazing.
I invite you and everybody in this studio to come at some point to our wonderful program, Songs by Heart, which you can see the magic of music work on people who haven't maybe spoken for a long time. And the manager of that program is here, and she's in the studio, and she's really an incredible artist herself, Mel
Give you
Howe.
a big shout out.
Yeah, and it's really super special to watch people kind of come to life through songs from their youths. I think this all speaks to the power of opera and how vibrations from sound can actually move us and connect us with each other. And that's what we hope you'll come experience this summer at Opera Saratoga.
Well, part of the I don't want to say stigma in a way, but it's like you say opera and they go, oh God, opera, is it French? And I don't know French, and Italian, and it's German, and it's kind of highbrow. But when you bring things like The Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, and you bring The Selfish Giant and Don Pasquale, I mean, you are bringing life to people that are probably afraid of opera. I mean, I listen to Northeast Radio, and they do the opera on the Saturdays, I think. I forgot what day it is. And even though I'm not familiar with them, I learn a lot because they have the narrators explaining and stuff. It's something that we need to be aware of, but sometimes we're frightened by words. And opera seems to scare a lot of people.
I think You know, you are totally spot on, and that is completely the ethos that we have this summer, is welcoming in a community and opening the doors and sort of breaking a mold of what opera,
Exactly.
what you
That's
might
why I
think
love
it
what
is.
you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I think that we are jumping onto a movement that is totally alive in the United States. Like the biggest opera that's happening at the Metropolitan Opera right now is by the person Terrence Blanchard who scored all of Spike Lee's movies. So we're talking about like a movement
Bringing
that,
it life.
well, and we're not museum curators, thank
Exactly.
goodness, right?
That's what I'm saying. Bring it to our lives.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Mary,
So-
thank you so much for being here and
Thanks,
telling us
Ann.
all about it. And be sure to you can attend the one on the 11th of June. June is the 6th month.
Indeed,
Sorry,
yeah,
I
no,
just-
you're right. You're spot on.
And I write everything 6/11, you know. But anyways, on the 11th, and it's a free event at the Civic Players, and it's in the afternoon. So be sure to check it out, and you'll be there, I'm sure. To say
I will be
hi.
there, Opera Saratoga,
I'll look for you there.
Saratoga.org.
Okay, good.
Thank you, thank you.
We're going to switch right over and go to our next guest, and we're going to be talking about Callaloo Theatre. Hey, and I know who you are because the way I'm looking at you. So you did the costuming, is that it?
Did. I came back for the costuming for this production as well of Trouble in Mind by
Can I have
Alice
your hat?
Childress. No, but I could see if I could find it.
I love your hat.
Thank you so much.
And your earrings. I'm taking her home.
Thank you.
She's going to be my model for figuring out what to wear the next day.
Well, I am a wardrobe utilization specialist.
Oh,
Yes,
there you
that's
go.
right.
There you go. Okay, so you're doing the costuming. So tell me about the play.
So the play is set in the 50s, and the original production, when Alice Childress was living, didn't make it to Broadway. It never made
Okay,
it to
Trouble
Broadway.
in Mind.
Trouble in Mind. So this play was written, and because of the themes that were in there, when the producers at that time asked the playwright to make some changes to the play.
Why would you ask them? Why would you ask them to change it?
So it was a little edgy for that time, if you will.
Oh, okay.
It was
the
addressing
period of
the period of speaking of racial divide and bringing it into the play, and it's done in such a clever and masterful way in this particular play. I encourage everyone to come see it.
Good, yeah. And Karen Christina Jones is just an amazing director.
Yes,
Love her,
yes.
love her.
So it takes place in a time where there was a lot of racial divide in theater. So by not adjusting the ending of the play, it never made it to Broadway at that time.
So what, I'm sorry, you probably did say it and I missed it. What was the time period that it was written?
The 50s, 1950s. It was
50s.
written
Oh,
in the
yeah,
50s.
yeah. That was kind of a turbulent time, but we got through that, thank goodness. Hopefully.
Yes, and to say that those are, the themes still exist though. That's why it's universal, and that's why I'm glad it made it to Broadway. But I'm glad that Karen Christina picked this play.
She
for
picked
us
it,
to
yeah.
for
So
us
it's
to
an
do
older
this.
play. Isaac, what do you do in this play?
Well, I basically play the well-meaning but ultimately evil white guy. I'm the
Always need one of those,
always
right?
need one of those. The whole play, the Trouble in Mind is a play within a play. So it is a group of actors in the 1950s putting on a rather edgy, sort of Black Lives Matter kind of a play.
Okay, and that was before its time.
Much before its time. And the central conflict is between the director who I play and the star who Amelia plays. Amelia's character very much deserves to be a Broadway leading lady. She has 25 years of experience. She knows her business inside and out. And here
But, what's the but?
the but is she's up against a director in a society that really wants to pigeonhole her in maid kind of roles.
Yeah.
Like Hattie McDaniel.
Hattie
male,
McDaniels, but she
maid
says at
sort of
least I
role.
made money, but the point was, and she was a multimillionaire, towards the
Yeah.
end. But it was, and I must say, I cringe when I watch, and I love TCM, and they have refused to not show these because they said it's an important thing to realize what went on, and even the blackface, which is horrible, but they still continue to show those, mainly because to raise the awareness of how offensive these things are. So I understand what you're saying about the 50s and all of that, and how what they did, not only Hattie McDaniels, but so many of these great black actors, and I call them all actors. I don't use actresses anymore because we don't say doctress, do we, when we go to the doctress, the female doctor? They're a doctor, right? So I do that. Tell me about the costuming, because are you going back to the 50s?
Yes, I'm absolutely taking everyone aesthetically back to the 50s, and I'm also interpreting their characters. So I also had a script that I read, and I used my skills as a wardrobe utilization specialist, right, as what their cognitive mind would be in this play. So our lovely star, Willetta, she kind of has a dignity and grace to her dress. We also have a character named Millie, who's our fashionista. So she would dress probably more like me in the play, right?
Well, right. You can't go wrong there.
Yes, and then we have, of course, Al Manners, who Isaac is playing, and he just has that very much kind of busy director look. He thinks about what he's wearing, but he's not necessarily like a sharp as a tack. And I can go on and on about the characters.
Are you going to take that from her?
I don't have a choice. I never argued with my costume mistress.
So I just kind of, reading the play, I was very interested in all 9 characters, what their cognitive mind was, and what they're trying to say with not the words they're saying, but what their body language or what might say on stage, and what they want their clothing to say. We have one character named Judy, who comes in at first more casual. She's young, and I think this might be her first time in the play. I mean, it's her first play. But after interacting with her counterpart, she comes back very much more mature. So you'll see that type of
an evolution then.
Yes, you'll see that type of costuming, and we have another character that does a transformation. So it's like I really looked at the play, not just their words. Again, I thought about their cognitive mind and what they might wear that might speak to that without having to say any words, because some of the characters have more lines than others. So we had to have their costumes speak for them.
Okay, I'm going to speak to you especially because you certainly have a fashion style that's amazing. You also have a fashion line too?
No, I have
Tell me what you do.
Yeah, I have a company.
Just quickly.
Yep, company Styles and Merch. I do creative services, business services, and wardrobe utilization services.
Okay, so you help people who say, I don't know what to wear and I don't know.
Yes, and for this, I'm doing the costume designing, but I'm lending the same skills and tools that I would for an individual. I'm lending that individually to each actor with what they're trying to do so that they're most comfortable on the stage. Again, I'm getting into the mindset of their characters, and so I'm also costuming them in a way that they will be able to kind of transform, if you will, from what you see here with their wonderful selves to what you'll see when you come to the play in the first and second weeks of June.
Emily, how do you like your character? You're in the skin of that character, obviously, but tell me what you feel when you...
I can relate to Willetta because this is a timeless theme. Willetta is not able to speak her mind as she would like to in an industry that she's in. She's been in this industry for over 25 years, as Isaac was mentioning. And just thinking of that, that's a whole career. Now, if you've been in a career for such a time, you would think that you know enough, that people would recognize that you know enough, and your presence would show that, and yet she's still not able to be herself. So this play comes right at the point where Willetta is challenging all that she's been through her whole 25 years of performing, and I can relate. I've had those kinds of changes in my life, but many people have. They're still reported in the news. The disappointment of, especially as a Black woman, in any industry, when you would like to be able to be received the way you've presented yourself, and you're not that way. You know, we still see that today when it comes to salary.
do. Yeah,
You know,
we see
salary.
it today, and we see that women in general are always not quite as good as the male, you know. No, I'm kidding you all. But I mean, and so there's so many barriers for women in general. And then add another layer to that, and then you can see where the difficulty comes.
And the interesting thing too is that Willetta has relationships with plenty of people. So she has a long-standing relationship with the director.
And he's still doing that to you?
And yet, and still.
Yeah.
25 years.
Well, you know, it's interesting as you tell me this, as you relate the play to me, and I'm seeing this, and then I'm realizing this was written in 1950. So it's not like we're writing it today about the past. This was happening then.
Right.
How many other characters are in that play?
Besides me, 8.
8, okay.
Yes.
And tell me who the other 8 are. I mean, you don't need to give me all names, but I'm just curious, what do the characters portray?
So we have another character who happens not to be Black, who can also relate to some of the marginalization, and how that plays out is interesting too. I believe that the playwright put that in there to show that this is a universal theme. You don't necessarily have to be a Black woman to experience this.
Exactly.
So showing that, and you'll see that throughout the play, that everybody has their own experience, but there are universal themes, and that's the thing that I really appreciate about this play, as well as other of Alice Childress's plays, because she's written so many great.
Oh, she, is it she?
Yes.
Is it she? Okay,
Well,
good.
one thing I noticed, speaking to the universality of this play and the issues that it talks about, is that it takes place in a time of great societal and generational change. We have characters who represent sort of the older generation who are coming out of that Jim Crow minstrel show mentality, who very much play into that stereotype in order to survive. But you also have the younger generation of characters, the character of John, who's very much of that breaking out kind of rock and roll civil rights mindset. And you have them all in the same room. And so they're arguing with each other. You have the older generation sort of carrying some of their own prejudice, their old prejudices in.
We still see that today. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what's so absurd.
We're in a similar time now, I think, where
It's
older
relevant. This
prejudice-
is relevant.
Yeah, older prejudices are being broken down. And you have the older generation sort of fighting against that. You have the younger generation eager to push on ahead. And so those dynamics are still at play, and that's what makes the Trouble in Mind a relevant piece for today's audience.
Well, it sounds like a terrific play, and I hope that, this, you get a lot of, let's see, when is it on? Let me just.
The first 2 weekends in June.
Okay, the first 2 weekends in June. So that's June 3rd and 4th, and then the 10th and the 11th.
That's right.
2 days each time.
Yes.
So, and you're ready to go, I know that. So it's going to be an exciting play.
Oh, absolutely.
It's relevant,
It is.
and it's age group, and you don't care.
It's really good for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, they have to understand the play a little bit, so you're looking at
Yeah.
probably middle school and up, right?
Yeah.
To understand this. These are plays that we need to bring forward into, there's so much that we can learn through theater. And sometimes we think of theater as just entertainment, but no, if you can walk out of a play and think about it or talk about it on the way home,
Yeah.
it's a success.
Yes.
Right.
You get your tickets on Eventbrite?
Yes.
Yeah,
And we're
Eventbrite,
in a wonderful space too, at the New
Yeah, you're doing it at the
Covenant-
New Covenant.
Right, the New Covenant Christian Fellowship.
And
right
where
in
is that
Albany.
located?
Clinton, 395 Clinton Ave in Albany.
Clinton Avenue. Okay,
Yes.
good. Yeah, we'll find it.
All right.
Yeah, and please give Christina my big
Oh,
shout out. She's a
Absolutely.
fabulous woman. I am in awe at what she does. So Thank you all for being here and break a leg. Not you.
Now, I'm the only expendable one in this show.
No, that's okay. We love you no matter what. Good. We're going to switch over and we're going to be talking about a great event that's been going on a long time. Oh, Jazz on Jay, yay! And you do the jazz radio show too, right?
Yes, every Saturday night on WAMC,
Yeah.
11 o'clock. And yes, as you say, it's been 35 plus years now.
Have you been doing it that long?
Yep, we had an anniversary concert last fall.
Nice. That was at the Linda, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was at the Linda. See, I remember that. Yeah. And Susan, you too, you're into jazz as well.
Yes, I'm the jazz music director for WOOC over at the Sanctuary for Independent Media. The
Right.
show is called Jazz Sanctuary. It's at
Yeah,
mediasanctuary.org.
they do a lot over there.
Yeah, weeknights, 7 to 10
Is
p.m.
Steve still there or did Steve step down?
Steve is retired.
Yeah, I thought that he had.
is
Yeah,
retired.
Steve was a great guy.
And KP
He
is
and his
now the
wife,
executive. Yeah, he and Brenda are wonderful. And KP, who is the executive director at the Schenectady Barn, Albany Barn, is now
Yeah.
the director.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
it's
So we're
interesting.
talking about Jazz on Jay, and you have a great lineup this year. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness! And your final one is Doc Horton, who's appearing at the Electric City Barn on Saturday. So
Oh, okay, yeah, that's one thing I notice about this year's lineup is the variety of kinds of music that fall under the name of jazz.
we call it jazz, but
Yeah.
it seems to have more of a broader look at it. I mean, if we think of Dixieland jazz or what kind of jazz, I always say, well, what kind of jazz? But
Yeah.
jazz, there's no. Tell us about the history of jazz.
Okay.
There's many rooms in the Jazz House.
Yeah.
There's 100 years of this music, 100 years. And so there's many iterations of it, many subgenres. But what's beautiful about Jazz on Jay is we have so much local talent, and we're able to, we're the only series of all the summer series that is exclusively jazz. So you're going to hear some Dixieland, you're going to hear some more avant-garde, you're going to hear bebop, you're going to hear...
Now you're going to hear Django Reinhardt, the person of the Saratoga Jazz Group. It's coming, I forget the date.
And Sonny and Pearlie are coming
Oh,
too. Yeah.
vocals galore.
Yeah. So you've got a great lineup coming. And of course, just to let everybody know, this is on Thursdays from 12 to 1:30 or so.
Correct.
And they have some great music that comes out of that. So I know that Susan, you wanted to talk more about the history, the jazz in general. Is that correct?
Well, instead of going through it, I mean, we can go week by week, but I thought it would be more interesting just to talk about the variety of the music we have, because we have the Empire State Youth Orchestra Jazz Combo kicking it off June 1st. You want to talk about the youth
Well, yeah,
orchestra?
because that's got to be young musicians who are just learning, and it'll be interesting to see as they play who do you think this fellow listened to when he was learning to play jazz?
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
young
that's
people.
interesting. Yeah.
They've got their own take. Some of them write their own songs. It's a new generation.
Yeah,
And that's
is-
just one group.
Yeah, and this is the Empire State Youth Orchestra.
Yeah.
They have a jazz.
Yep,
group with
yep.
that.
I haven't heard them yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sure they're going to be good because, I mean, everything that comes out of the Empire State Youth Orchestra is excellent because they have to audition to get in. It's not
Right,
like
yes.
not anybody can be in there. So that means that they're accomplished musicians at
Right.
that point. Yeah.
And then we have the Hot Club of Saratoga, which is based on Django Reinhardt, the great gypsy guitarist, led by Jonathan Green, wonderful clarinet player. And that's a totally different sound, completely different sound from.
Really?
Yep, absolutely.
They're August 3rd, and they won the Eddie's Music Award in 2022 for jazz. And Sonny Pearlie will be there August 10th. And you want to talk about Sonny and Pearlie?
Well, I've listened to them for a long time. She
They've been
sings
around
and he
a while,
plays.
yeah.
Yes, indeed. They've just come back from their Florida tour. I mean, they travel all over the country.
Florida? They've
Oh,
been down
yeah,
to
they
Florida?
have a lot of outside the area concerts.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
I always think of them as being premier local.
Well, they do live here, but every winter they go down to Florida. They
Somebody
have plenty
has
of
to live
jobs.
somewhere, right?
That's
I always
right.
say that. You know, somebody says, "Oh, they're from here." Yeah, well, somebody has to be from somewhere. So
That's right.
you know.
You know that she's a wonderful singer, and he accompanies her, and I'm sure they'll have a good band behind them. So,
Oh, so
they're-
they bring a band along with them as well?
Well, they'll have probably a bass and drums.
Okay, so they'll have a few
Yeah,
other
yeah,
instruments.
small group.
Yeah.
And the Trojan Horns are part of Downtown Schenectady Art Week. That's June 8th.
I don't know much about them yet.
Who is it now?
The Trojan Horns.
I know, I thought the horse horns sounded very clever. Yeah, I don't know anything about them. And we'll just interrupt for a moment. How do you choose these groups?
Well, every February, we get together with a select group of people, and we try not to have a group this year who we had last year. Bring in somebody
We
else.
used to always
New
try.
group.
I was on that selection committee
Yeah,
years
that's
ago,
right,
and
yeah.
we always tried to, if you were here last year, we don't do that next.
People offer different groups and then tell who they are and what they play and so forth.
Do you listen to their music ahead of time?
We do on our own, yes.
Yeah.
So we try to have a familiarity so that all the different genres are represented. It's
Are
not going to be the
represented.
same
Sure.
thing. Because we like people to come every week and to be a little bit surprised and be a little bit delighted. Come and bring your lunch or support
They can buy their
downtown.
lunch, because there's a lot of places that sell their lunches there, and some of them have tables outside. So where are you,
Absolutely.
I'm digressing again, but where are you performing? Are you still in the center area, or you moved to the front, I know, at one time, but then there was a question of noise, so where are you?
Well, it's sort of directly across from Proctor's Theater.
Okay,
And sometimes the band is on J Street, sometimes it's on the porch of one of the restaurants there.
Okay,
depending on how-
Johnny's.
Yeah, Johnny's, yeah. Some of it depends on the weather, and of course, as you mentioned, I think earlier, there's a rain site of
It's
Proctor's Theater.
Proctor's, yeah.
So, yeah, and there's tables and chairs there, and as you said, you can get plenty to eat, plenty
yeah,
of coffee.
plenty of food to eat, and you can bring your own. And
Sure.
I think if I recall, the not the green market, but the outdoor market is
The Thursday
around.
the Thursday market is happening at City Hall, so it's very easy to go visit the Green Market and just stroll down J Street, maybe grab something to eat.
Sure.
And bring your kids. It is family friendly. You know, bring grandma, bring the kids. It's so much fun watching the children especially interact with
Well, they'll get
the
out there and
bands.
dancing. They're
They
dancing.
do. They
Oh, absolutely,
dance
yeah.
and they're wiggling and they're giggling and they're
And it's an
Up
introduction to
close.
live music to a lot of kids that
Exactly.
haven't really
Yes.
seen this.
Right.
exactly.
I heard that there's a burger place moving in on J Street too, the Herbie's Burgers.
Oh, I read that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, things are heating up down there.
They really are. They really are.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Wink.
I
with
have to
the
say
pun.
this because I do a pun every day on Facebook, and Tim is usually the first to respond, and he is spot on every one of the puns. People contact me and say, "Who is this Tim Coakley?"
Uh-oh, you don't tell them, do you?
He's really good. No kidding, they do.
Okay.
So you are building a reputation as being a responding punster.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good title.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt,
it's
but I
okay.
had to give you a little bit of a shout out.
What do you think of Teresa Broadwell's
Well,
band?
Teresa's
She's been
a
around
wonderful
a while.
person. She sings, she plays violin, and her husband is a great guitarist, and she'll have a bass and drums behind them, and they'll be swinging their ears off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
and you can always count on that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, one of our standard
I've
groups.
seen it.
Yeah, terrific.
And we have Tariq Shaw coming with the trio, and he's amazing. He's also one of the DJs at WOC.
Who is it?
Tariq Shaw.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's a
Yeah.
bassist, and he's played with Betty Carter, Ahmad Jamal, Abby Lincoln. He's also a composer. So his music is, it's rooted. It's rooted, it's deep, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And what you're telling me is a nice variety.
Absolutely. And every year it's different. There are sometimes you have the same musician playing with another band and have a different
Yeah, they tend to
take-
do that. I
different
know
take.
that, you know, that once you're good,
Yeah.
people are always looking
Right,
for that,
right.
yeah.
And it's fun watching them do something a little bit different than what they usually do.
Yeah. Depending on
playing
what group they're playing with.
But it's all in the Jazz House. But you know, we've got Alan Halstead Quartet and Chimera, and Chimera is an interesting band. It's
I do.
Eva Bitova, Steve Gorn, Timothy Hill, and Michael Bissio bass. Michael's from Troy, and he went out to the West Coast for a lot of years.
He has his own group too, I think.
Yeah, but this is his group.
Oh,
And it's all creative, it's all improvisation, that's what they do. And they've played all over the world. So it's really nice to have them here in Schenectady.
It's great. Like I said, that you picked a large, because we're talking, it's not just one or two performances. How many are there, did you say? I'd say probably about 12.
I think so. It's every Thursday in July.
It's every
and August.
Thursday in July. I think there aren't any breaks, are there? It's every single Thursday, right?
I'm sorry, it's
Through the end of the 31st is the last one, August 31st,
yeah, it's
right?
June 1st through August 31.
Right.
Every Thursday.
So it's every week. It's Thursday.
yes.
Go to the library, go to the market, the outside market, come and eat your lunch, make a day or an afternoon of it.
Yep.
Bring your own chair if you want to, but there's going to be chairs there.
That's right. Yep.
Proctor's very generously brings the chairs
There's
over.
chairs, the sound is good, the weather holds out
We've
usually.
got a new sound system too. That's really great.
Sweet,
Yeah.
sweet. And you can dance.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Come dance in
let
the
your heart
streets.
go and have some fun.
Yeah, enjoy the
Absolutely.
jazz.
It's a must go for me.
Yeah,
Every
it is. It is.
Thursday.
And just before you leave, I just wonder, are you going to be doing the jazz at the? You did at the
A
Unitarian.
place for jazz?
Yeah.
Yes, that starts in early September, and with a little luck, we can come back and tell you about it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about
And we're
that.
not at the Unitarian Fellowship any longer.
No, I know.
Right
I
now it's
said you
SUNY
were.
Schenectady.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are you now?
Schenectady Community College.
College, right. That's right.
School
You
of
did move
Music.
over there. So anyway, thank you both for being here.
We're
And I
delighted.
just love the music and I love I want to say the experience of being there on Thursdays and enjoying the weather and the people around you, and you get to meet people that you knew before and you didn't know they were going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
here. So
See a
there's
familiar
a lot
face
going
every
on.
time.
And of course, the lunches there are amazing. What a variety of foods that you can get.
J Street
on
has
J Street.
really come
the
into its
pedestrian
own.
way is wonderful. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
and,
you.
And
And-
keep that jazz going. And all that jazz.
All that jazz.
Good. We're going to switch right over here. And I have Jennifer Zhao on here today. I have to show this because she was on the cover of Miss Una. There you go. There's an extra copy
I've
for
got
you.
a few copies at home too.
Yeah, I know. That was so, when I picked that up, I said, what? That's wonderful. I'm so glad to see that you're on the cover there.
Thank
But you're
you.
with the International Center of the Capital District. I want to get the D instead of region, so, you know. What are you up to? I know that you recently had an event that was for
We've been very
the
busy.
diversity thing, right?
Yeah, we've been very busy. We've had lots of exchange visitors come as they are really coming back after COVID. We've had a group from Poland, a group of women entrepreneurs. We've had renewable energy experts from Ukraine visit as well. So
Wow.
we've been
So
very
how do they know about you? How do they find out about Holly? Thank you. How do they find out about you? How would, if I was going to, I don't know, name the country, any country, I wouldn't know where to start. And yet you are out there, and are you working with New York State? How do you work?
We work with the U.S. State Department and
Okay.
also the congressional offices. So most of the visitors are nominated through their embassies.
Okay.
So we're professional, accomplished people that have leadership experience in their country.
Right.
And they're getting sent here to the U.S. for this special experience so they can grow in their professional lives and then advance in their careers.
I see. Okay, good. So you do have that connection. That's why I wonder, how would you know people from all Poland were coming?
Well, we're one of 84 organizations around the country that does this IVLP programming.
Okay.
We work with the State Department. So we represent the Capital Region, and then there's another organization in Buffalo that does a similar
Oh, the
thing.
same thing out there. If they
Yeah,
go
and
to the
then-
western part of the state.
Exactly. There's other parts in other states around the country as well.
Okay, now Holly, you're community engagement, so how is that different? Or is that the same of what you're doing?
Well, I help coordinate the visits for the folks, and I use professional resources in our area to meet with these people. As a matter of fact, somebody on the show is actually somebody I'm gonna reach out to after the program to see if she'd be interested in meeting with a group that might be coming from Africa.
Oh, great.
With
That's what I love about this show. People, they are always reconnecting and
music, I mean, every time I'm kind of like, I joke, my antenna, I'm out there in the community, that would be a great group to connect with our because there's obvious things, we all hear about, but then there's all these great, like shows like yours, or you're bringing on people that like Disconnect the Opera, that's amazing.
Yeah.
If we have a music program, that we can bring people in, and just keep adding to so much, as I said, there's
The experience of the visitors to come
Absolutely.
here.
And the professional people here say, wow, this is great, thank you for bringing in. People always say, what if someone like you from, doing, all the way up here? And it's like, we're very fortunate to have so many resources.
Oh, we have so much in our area that is, I mean, I'll tell you, when people move away from here, I get letters or emails from them saying, I never knew how enriched our area was until I got to this city, which these are named cities. These are not like little villages or something. They go to a city that's got a name, and they don't have the theater, they don't have the music, they don't have the things that we have here. We are so blessed. I want you all to know that if you're watching this, we are blessed in this area.
Absolutely, and I think with our jobs, like we really take that to heart and found even more deeper resources, because both Holly and I have been here for many years and very well connected, but every day we're meeting new people and we're learning about new organizations that we can introduce international visitors to.
Yeah.
Because it's not just for the visitors, it's also great for our community to meet with the international folks because they're learning from them as well.
Exactly. I mean, we have the Chinese Community Center, we have the Ukrainian Hall, Club. We've got every organization seems to have something that they can offer.
Every group, especially refugee groups, the Afghan community has its own community center.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Which has been really awesome to work with.
They are great people.
Great people, and they love being connected with us, and we love having them involved with us. And in the Ukrainian Center, of course, has always been here, but now they're dealing with a lot of refugees. So a lot of the groups that do come, whether as immigrants or refugees, really, we really love to connect with them because we want to tell people about their culture, their world, the people, and we get very excited about all those kind of connections.
How long are the groups that come? Do they stay for like a week or a month, or do they just pop in and out?
Well, the IVLP is really just for a few days. They travel to 7 cities typically.
Okay.
And so we get chosen to be one of those cities, which is great. So they're only here for usually 2 days of programming.
Okay.
And then sometimes they'll have dinner or have dinner at someone's home or restaurant, so they have some we call it home hospitality. And then the Open World program, which is a congressional program, they are here for a week. So they get to stay with families, and they get to really spend a week going through the programs and things like that. So it's very
Because you
exciting.
try and fill their time with enriching
absolutely.
items
Yeah,
that you have.
Right.
I know that at one time we were asked to host, and we did. They were from another country, but they wanted the people, maybe it was through your organization, I don't know, I don't recall. But I remember hosting people from another country for dinner because they wanted them to have the experience of being in a home.
It probably was our part. That's
Probably
kind of our,
IVLP.
yeah, it's
It's
kind
a
of our,
really signature experience because when we talk to the visitors, sometimes after they go back to their countries, the most important thing they remember is having dinner. They may forget the professional meeting, or they may forget what senator they met, but they're like, I went to this person's home and met their dog, or their
Yeah, exactly.
Or their kid.
That's what
they
we had, and
remember.
it was two people. I remember that. I can't remember what country. I'm sorry, but it was because we learned a lot. My husband and I learned a lot from them, just talking to them, and they had a translator with them, I think,
Yes.
because there was an issue of us speaking the language.
maybe need to be another home host. We have,
Absolutely, we're always looking for
You never
volunteers.
know. I mean,
Everybody
we'd be
watching
happy
is
to. I
interested.
love to share with people. So, and not only that, but I learn because unless we have this person-to-person experience, these are just countries with a name.
Exactly. We call it citizen diplomacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in June, as a matter of fact, we're going to be having a training for citizen diplomacy. We're going to get volunteers who want to do this and give them a certificate so that they are certified to be a citizen
Oh,
diplomat.
I'd be interested in that. That would be
Yeah.
really neat.
And we've always had volunteers, but I think it's great to formalize it a little bit, to just teach people like what is the program, where does the funding come from, why are we doing this, some do's and don'ts, just to help people have a framework.
We don't do enough of this, from my perspective. We have a lot of xenophobia out there. If they don't look like us, then we don't know who they are. They must be different. No, they get up in the morning, they raise their kids, put the dog out, they have breakfast, just like everybody else. But you have this, I don't say everybody, but I've talked to people who just even foods, they go, oh, well, that's different. It's like, well, try it. Maybe you might like it.
That's a great introduction to international community, is trying the food, and especially the Afghan community.
Oh my gosh, I love Mazadar. Oh, that's a plug. I love Mazadar.
And they're all, those restaurants are started by people who came here, fleeing a war zone, and have made a life here and become, amazing restaurateurs.
Food is amazing.
So that's something we really,
we have a Moroccan restaurant. I mean, to me, it's like, well, bring it on. I want to try it.
Every night of the week, you can go eat somewhere different. So.
And Schenectady is really good because we have a lot of different restaurants here.
Right. Starting this year, we started doing cultural night outs. We've had a sushi making class. We were going to be doing an Indian night out. We had.
Why don't I know about this?
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. It's on
I need to be on your mailing list.
Sign up for our newsletter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I should do that because I've known Jennifer for quite some time, but I would really like to get more involved in the international because to me, it's all about understanding of community of different peoples. And the more you meet other people, it's just like
we're people. We're all people.
We're all people.
It's all about breaking down the barriers, like you said. Once you meet somebody face to face, they're like, oh, they're not that different.
Right.
We have the cultural passport as well, which is 15 cultural restaurants that are all family owned in the capital region, so people can join the ICCR as a member and they can get a passport and get discounts on those restaurants.
Really?
So we'll be happy to send one to you.
Yeah, no, I would really like, I'm director of another organization that does what they call dining adventures. And I love to do things like that, to maybe host a dinner at some restaurant that is doing something different.
Perfect.
Because, we have the Japanese restaurants, which are amazing. With the chef doing his thing with those knives, anyway.
Hibachi.
I'm like ducking, but anyway, and the Chinese food to me is like the best. I love Chinese. Of course, I'm Italian, but I like that too. But I went to China and someone said to me, well, could you eat the food? Oh no, it was awful. It was just terrible. I couldn't possibly eat a thing. So, are you kidding? It's like, the food is amazing there. It's amazing. They do things with vegetables and fruits that no one else ever does, but it's wonderful. I love it. So yes, it's just so important, I think, to share that. I was telling someone when I was a little kid, my mother, God bless her, she would bring me to Lumpfung's, which was a Chinese restaurant in downtown Schenectady. I was like 5, 6 years old. She introduced me to Chinese food. We should do more of that.
Getting involved with us is a great way to do it.
Yeah. So are you looking for members? You're looking for support?
Yeah, we're always looking for members. It's very easy to join. Go on our website. It's $50 a year for the full membership, and you get discounts. You come to our free events. There's also student membership. It's only $25. So very affordable for anyone, and we never turn anyone away.
I'm going to check it out.
We're always happy to,
going to check it out because I love what you do.
We also have achievement awards where we recognize foreign people in our community who have greatly contributed to where we live. Some restaurateurs, last week, Tara Kitchen, you mentioned, Anissa Wahid was.
Oh, yes, Anissa Wahid,
But so many others, Dr. Sammy of Hudson Valley Community College. So we're looking for nominations.
Good. And when is that going to be?
We're going to start gearing up for that very soon. As soon as we have a couple of programs.
When do you have your event?
It'll be November.
Yes.
November.
Okay,
I think it's November 2nd, but I'm sure we'll be in touch before then. But November is our yearly date that we do the luncheon, and that's where we honor our folks. And right around this time is when we're going to be taking nominations.
Good. And I also want to mention that there's an exhibit in the New York State for the Pacific Asian.
Yes.
Yeah.
The AAPI month.
Yeah.
The Heritage Month is May.
Yeah.
So happy AAPI month, everyone.
exactly.
And we're very proud to say Dr. Nin, who is from Myanmar, was one of our home hosts. And her story is featured in the Empire State Plaza. So it's all about her journey and her family's journey coming out of Burma.
We have, Burma. Burma's the old name for Myanmar.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to tell you who's coming on in June. We got a great lineup. We got Circles of Mercy coming on, Juneteenth celebration, Old Songs Festival. Opera Saratoga is coming on again. Schenectady School District's Athletic Hall of Fame. We have the Area Arts Contest, the Bellbillies, they're a musical group, Harbinger Theater, Rotary Project, Women's Voices, we got it all right here. I'm Ann Pearl, you're watching Capital Region Today. Thank you so much for watching, and please avail yourself of many of the opportunities in our community to join organizations, to see performances, to listen to music, to be part of our community, and I'll see you there.